We're in the top right hand corner for us. Our first set of today's playoffs. He's the blue Zerg player coming out second out of Group B, playing for Kaizi Gaming. It is Solar.
And spawning here at the bottom left corner of the map. He's the red Terran player hailing from Korea and playing for Good Game Gaming. Give it up for Dream. Oh, and what do we have here?
Yep, Solar, not the best player against proxies. Dream, one of the best proxy players. We're talking about how I felt like Dream wasn't letting Solar grow uncontested, and this is the prime example, guys. That's a 2 Rex proxy, and Solar has already been reacting to it.
Yeah, pulling those 3 drones there, but oh, look at that. Those SCV tucked in nicely there.
Oh, that's so RNG based sometimes, but Dream at the perfect positioning for his Rexes. That one single SCV barely survived, but the 2 Rexes, man, they complete without even struggling a little bit. And now there are 2 more SCVs. Look at this, Dream already setting up a little comfy small place for his Marine to shoot uncontestedly. And the proxy play can begin. It's drones against SCVs, and one of the bunkers that already has gone down. Oh my god, Solar so unlucky as well in this scenario. Here comes the drones trying to get on top of the Marines. They tried to take us around, and it's a beautiful one at that. Losing so many drones though. Only one of the Marines can fall. The second actually falls soon after. But 8 drones have already been killed. Zerglings starting to pop out of these archeries. The SCV is gonna complete the bunker. And more Zerglings come running past the SCV, running past the bunker. It's 3 Marines now. The last SCV is gonna fall. 4 Marines. These Zerglings do not stand a chance. They need to stay close to the archery and wait for the queen to spawn. Here it comes. The bunker has finished. This bunker is very orange in health. Going low. The queens do not want to take any more damage from that bunker. They're gonna wait until it's salvaged. Solar is out for the time being, but that was not a comfortable position to be in.
Well, at the very least, Solar does take down the bunker. But again, like you said earlier, taking out so many drones, we have to wonder, was it just a tad too much? We shall see though. More Marines being produced here by Dream, but as you can see in the production tab, he is transitioning into that factory tech.
Yeah, it's not looking great for Solar. This queen's gonna drop down one creep tumor. I don't know if that was worth it. The creep tumor gets instantly killed, and one of the key queens is very ready in health. There is almost a transfuse on the other. Transfuse needs to be used right now. Here it comes. But these queens do not really stand a chance against these Marines. The last queen standing right here is gonna fall. The Marines are gonna fall as well, but this is crazy damage from Dream. And this game is a slide upwards for Solar, and he cannot really take any more losses. This game is not going his side at all.
Oh man, let's take a look at the units lost tab. So much more minerals as well as drones going down here for Solar. And he's going to have an uphill battle, uphill mountain to climb here. We'll see if he can do it. But in the meantime, Dream gonna go ahead and expand to the low ground. Gonna get that orbital up and running, and Solar sees all of this.
Already having some pretty nice production is Dream right now. Just cutting on the side of Solar, but losing those queens, man, that hurts so much. Dream will have so much more supply than his opponent shortly, and not being able to drop down a third, not being able to spread creep or spread over for vision. It's hurting like a truck right now. Sending those Zerglings out, I don't know if that's the best call. Hellions are making their way past everything. And now one more Overlord is gonna fall for Solar. And those things do cost a little bit. Solar kind of tries to transition into the lair tech, probably for Nidus.
I mean, right now, I don't.
Carry position to be in.
Yeah, I don't blame him for trying to go for like an all-in, because right now he's in quite a dire situation. He needs to kind of go for a swing at the bat to see if something can kind of break a dream here. But in the meantime, a dream gonna go ahead and do a 4 Hellion drop, and there's just absolutely nothing to defend it. Solar just gonna go ahead and quickly GG out.
Yeah, that was quite too difficult for him to come back from. I see very much the reason for him tapping out of this game. Don't want to play anymore. This uphill climb, as he called it. It was a rough game, and the historical good player proxy has beaten the historically bad player against proxies with a proxy play.
Yeah, I mean, Solar, I think proxies are his kryptonite of some sort.
Yep.
And you know, it's unfortunate because he does scout these proxies pretty early usually.
Yep.
He scouted at least this game in Jagannatha pretty early and just wasn't able to shut it down. And then furthermore, losing so many drones to so few Marines at the time. Unfortunate there.
He's been trying so hard to try and approach these proxies in different kind of ways. Sometimes even just up for fetting the natural, sometimes using his drones to fight, sometimes just buying time. And nothing has been working out for him. It's more like a mental block, I'd say. Something that just maybe panic that kicks in when he faces proxies, and he's been so unlucky as well. But Dream, very deserved advantage. So let's get into the second set of these series for the playoffs, fighting for the finals. Spawning in the top right hand corner here on Oxide is the blue Zerg player. Playing for KaiZ Gaming, it is Solar.
And spawn here at the bottom left corner of the map. He is the red Tyrant player. Has a 1-0 lead here. Can he extend it to 2-0? Give it up for Dream.
Well, building a Rex in his ramp, it's already quite the feat for him against Solar. How many proxies? Solar so much. That must feel very bad for Solar.
Yeah, but I like it. You know what? Dream just changing it up. He did, you know, execute the cheese, the proxy cheese in the first game. Was successful. Now he's just gonna go ahead and open up standard and see if he can win another game. And that's gonna be a bit demoralizing if that happens, because, you know, losing against a cheese, you're like, okay, you know, that was just a cheese. You know, that was just a little bit of a mistake there. But then if you play out a long macro game and you still lose, that you're like, oh man, what hope do I have? I mean, it's a little bit demoralizing sometimes.
Yeah. It's especially interesting seeing how he decided to approach the series with these maps in this particular order. Deciding to proxy in Jagannatha, not playing the map, going on Oxide with a completely different game plan, and seeing how it performed against Solar, who's actually wanting to expand as quick as possible and keeping control of the map in this matchup. On this map, man, that's kind of hard for a Zerg player.
All right, Reaper gonna go ahead and possibly, oh, does actually get a drone.
Yeah, good save by Solar on one of his drones. Couldn't save the other, sadly. And now the Reaper will just probably get out of there without a big issue. Good scouting, nothing too crazy coming up. Solar will be able to drop down a Crypt Tumor and drop down his fur base. So Dream will just hang in there with the Reaper for some further confirmation and be back home with his game plan.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and attempt in a scout here, but things are going to greet him along with the queen. Will force Dream to back away for the time being.
Right. Looks like we're gonna have a fairly standard 1-1-1 opener for Dream with early expansion for the third base. That's pretty usual when you see your opponent going for a third of his own. But we see Solar going for Ro4.
Oh.
Roaches are not the greatest once time goes on in the series. Oxide, not the longest of maps by any means. This game can lead us to some interesting places.
Yeah, do you think this is gonna be for some type of aggression or just a quick response to the Hellion?
I think you're not supposed to hold back if you go for Ro4, and I think you're supposed to go kind of aggressive. Ravagers are kind of fine in this map. They have not too many difficulties breaking in. The distance is short, and they can really put a dent to your opponent's defenses. And seeing Solar completely forfeit droning, I stress this forward. This is going to be a crazy old lane coming from Solar.
Oh, this is actually pretty perfect because he's going to draw all these Hellions back home. And that is going to allow Solar to kind of move across the map with his units. See, now the Roaches are moving and kind of swinging to the sides to go undetected by these Hellions. So by the time the Hellions do arrive at the front, I mean, he's going to be unexpecting this push here. Oh, but
That's
now
a lot of aliens, though. All right, the Zerglings come and get around these aliens, get us around, but it's just way too many of them. And now it's up to the queens to stop them from being too obnoxious. There's 4 queens getting around these aliens. 3 of them have died, but the 4 of them are still standing. It looks like they're kind of trapped there. They see the Roach Warren, but it will all be wiped. Solar needs to face a Banshee on the other side of the map. These Roaches get into the natural. They will start to get damaged, but man, these Banshees are not gonna make it easy. The wall is open for the Roaches to get into the production. Meanwhile, the Zerglings get in the wall, in the mineral line, here in the natural. That's gonna be some losses for Solar. Not too heavy, but it's gonna be some losses nonetheless. These Banshees have been scouted completely. They cannot get through the map, and now Solar is just hacking at everything he finds on his way. These Marines and Banshees alone cannot stop the Zerglings from killing another of these supply depots. And now Solar will just get a Spire of his own, buy some more time. And I'd say he's in a pretty commanding position.
yeah, I love how Solar is playing this out. He went for a kind of aggressive build, but knowing and seeing the Banshees, he immediately kind of adapted and started making some drones. Now gonna go ahead and throw down the Spire. Gonna go ahead and tech into those Mutalisks and try to take down some SCVs and possibly these 2 annoying Banshees.
There's already an Overseer here back home for Solar. There's not gonna be an easy way for the Banshees to find some damage on the Zerg side of the map. But they're getting there. They will get a couple drones here into the main. Probably gonna be more than 3 or 4. Yeah, it's just gonna be 4. And now the queens are getting into the main. The spawning pool will not fall. Solar not making many units, waiting for the Mutas to be out and then getting his Muta upgrade. But Dream wants to get some damage done. He doesn't feel satisfied with how the game has been going. His Banshees still getting some more drones, probably more than it was supposed to be honest.
Alright, Dream's gonna go ahead and put some pressure here onto this third. Now Mutalisks are on the production, so Dream's gonna have to be a bit careful because he won't be able to, you know, kind of retreat safely back home with those Mutalisks chasing those medevacs. But he does give a scan, does know that they are out, and as you can see, immediately throwing down those turrets across his bases.
It doesn't look like Solar will be trying to go too aggressive with his Mutas. He probably feels like his best bet is to try and get these medevacs. Maybe try to get a lonely tank somewhere. But Solar doesn't have any Banelings yet. He's been producing his first 4 of the game, and there's already so many Marines out on the map. I feel like Solar has kind of slowed down his play a little bit too much. These Mutas need to do miracles right now, with the tanks shooting at everything they can. Mutas will get on top of the tanks, but there's so many Marines. Bailing's even slowed. They can get some connections, and they will get some connections. And now the Mutas are just wiping through the Marines. This is not the most cost-effective trade I've ever seen for a Zerg player, losing 11 drones as well. But in the end, he held in a position he was looking very rough. Oh, this tank, very lonely in a very bad spot, but Mutas have been falling quite too often. 10 Mutas have already died, and this is crazy engagement. Mutas getting on top of these Marines is just not gonna work. Dream will get game number 2 as well. And Solar might have needed a little bit more bandits.
Yeah, for sure. That was a tough position as well going forward, because his 4th base was just about being made, as well as the Terran did have a 1-to-1 upgrade lead against the 0-0 of Solar. So, I mean, once Dream was going to tech up to 2-2, it would have been even exponentially difficult to come back into that game. So, well done by Dream. We'll head into game number 3 with a 2-0 lead.
Lots of very good game decisions by Dream in very difficult spots as well. This game right here has been quite the show of how clever this player can be. Just making the right decision to go all out at the right moment. Even maybe overstaying his welcome with a little number of Marines, knowing that his opponent was not in a position to bite back at the time being. Withdrawing when the time was nigh, and then attacking again when he felt like he had enough reinforcements. Solar kind of took a bad engagement, and Dream made the best out of it and proceeded to win the game. But it's the 3rd set now. A whole new story can begin right here on Death Aura. And it will begin in the bottom right-hand corner, where the blue Zerg is at his lifeline. He needs 3 in a row to get into the finals. Can he do it? Playing for Kaisi Gaming, it is Solar.
And spawning here at the top left corner of the map, you see red Terran player at match points. Can he close it out? Playing for good game gaming. Make some noise for Dream.
Whew, been quite alright this far. Dream been playing like a madman already. And Solar showing us the struggles of many Zerg players against Terran. Not because of the meta, not because of the imbalance, but because of how crazy good are these Terran players playing.
Yeah, and also a little bit of a questionable decision there by Solar, I feel like, in the last game. I mean, that map, I don't think is quite the shortest. So going for that Roach Rush, I feel like that's not probably the best map to go for it on that map. I think a map like maybe Submarine, which is a little bit closer from base to base to your opponent. I think, you know, getting that Roach to go across the map a bit faster, that might have been the better map to go for it. But on the map like on the last one, I just don't see you know, kind of the decision to go for it, especially since unfortunately Dream went for Banshee, so that kind of pretty much countered that build.
Yeah, it was a very unlucky situation, to be honest. Just facing those Banshees, you kind of have to expect it sometimes. It is an early aggression that can get countered very hard. It was countered very hard. It was still able to get some damage. It was still able to counter his opponent's alien play very efficiently. But yeah, it was just probably not the best map to do that. I do not think it's a large map or a long map per se, but it is one of these maps. Meanwhile, the Reaper is in a lot of trouble. Oh, it will fall. No, I was saying it's not a short map, a long map per se. I think it's pretty short, but all those rocks, man. they force your units to make such huge walk around to get to your opponent's natural, and it kind of gets a while to get to the other side of the map if you're not breaking those rocks. So it is balanced in this way somewhat.
Well, we're in a different map here on Deathora. Once again, Dream going for that quick dirt command center. And pretty much going for the same build here with the Hellion openings. Let's see if he can do damage with those Hellions. In the meantime, Solar did take out that Reaper, so he can kind of breathe a sigh of relief. He don't have to worry about the Reaper sniping off those creep tumors. He can, spread those creep at free will without any without any alarm to the Reaper, as well as he can just go ahead and just macro up, making all those drones, and already at a healthy worker count.
Yeah, it is one of those maps in which spreading creep can be very difficult because there are very many different pathways. So it's nice for him to get an early heads up into spreading creep. So we will see how this will get on into later stages. The leitmotif of the series this far has been Dream kind of absolutely trying his best to stop Solar from growing. This game might be a little bit different though. We see Solar growing fast, uncontested, getting later stages tech, spreading creep very efficiently, having all his structures and all his economy just at the right place, having good scouting, and Dream going for a Banshee play, which can deal damage, but is quite well known for slowing you down by quite a bit.
Alright, Baneliness about to pop out, or at least finish up. But in the meantime, Solar still contending with these 4 Hellions. Does not want them to just run by and just burn all his drones. But the Banshee is out. Actually, he's waiting for the second Banshee before moving out, which is sometimes we see Terran does that. But in the meantime, Hellion's gonna go possibly commit in. Nope, does see the bunch of links and will retreat for the time being.
There's this Baneliness blocking the entrance. It would have been a disaster if he decided to dive into the natural. Sure to be surrounded, and he decided not to go for that. I just want to check real quick. Oh, he's going for the third though. Oh, Zerglings were quite out of position. They're still gonna not get into the fight. Because that was a pretty rough position to be in. Of course, the Hellions are kind of exploding his Evo Chamber's positioning. They get in there, they do not get surrounded, and they are in a very comfy spot to shoot at everything. But I would say, I wanted to say if he saw the Spire, he didn't see the Spire. And it was quite a close call at that.
Oh, that could be spell a bit disastrous, because once those Mulas get into those mineral lines, they can, especially since Dream actually expanded to the base nearest the main base, you can fly the Mulas between them with ease, and do a lot of damage to the mineral line. So it's going to be up to Dream to kind of position his Marines in the correct areas, as well as bring up some turrets to help defend against those Mutalisks.
Yeah, meanwhile, 0 kills on those Banshees. Not the most efficient Banshees I've ever seen. Not gonna force any big reaction for Solar. And now we see the Mutas making their way through the map while the Medivacs are getting in as well. This one over here is gonna see these units drop right here. And Solar will take a reaction very fast. Will get us around, and now the Mutas will try to chase back these Medivacs. Mutas are falling. One Mutas at least has fallen. And now Dream going straight for the main, getting a huge Widowmine attack on so many Zerglings. Of course, these Medivacs are gonna be wiped. But Dream was able to do much more with them than I was expecting him, to be honest. Oh, Solar, you don't want to get caught by those aliens. And he doesn't.
Yeah.
Solar played very good, actually.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, it was a little bit unfortunate for Dream, seeing that the Mutals were out at the exact same time he was trying to drop. But you know what? Dream made, the best out of a difficult position. And I think he should be, satisfied somewhat with what he got, despite, having got countered by the Mutalisk. But you know what? Dream was able to scout out the Mutalisk in a bit earlier, and now is able to kind of throw up those anti-air defenses. So it kind of works out for him either way.
Yeah, it kind of does. His upgrades are on point. They're just at the right moment. But I do feel like he needs to get some damage. These Banshees are getting in just at the right moment, I think. This is a tough moment for Solar to react to the Banshees. And these drones need to stick so closely to that Spore Crawler. Good scouting, checking the infestation pit. And the Banshees will lose their lives for it. 7 drones. Good scouting. I call this worth.
Yeah, so far we have exactly 7. Those 7 drones going down. Yeah, I don't think it's been a pretty even trade thus far. But again, those Mutalisks are growing in numbers. It's gonna be important for him to kind of save those Mutalisks so that he can get to the optimal amount of number of Mutalisks to make to make them basically really annoying to deal with.
Dream has only 4 Widow Mines with this army. Those stores need to put some serious work into business, and otherwise the Banelings will just get running past everything and the Midas will easily get on top of the Medivacs. Dream decides against going into his opponent's side of the map for now. That's too much creep, and Solar had quite a good setup with his units. So I have to say I'm pretty impressed by Solar's game today. Well, today, right now, mostly. He's been not losing too much in any spot whatsoever. And he's been reacting fairly quickly to everything Solar has been doing. Let's see if it does react to this army moving on 2 different sides. He's kind of trying to split his army in 2. I feel like this is not the correct split though. The right side of the Army of Dream is much more scary. Oh, he decides to commit on top of this side though, and that's so many Banelings come rolling past. Beautiful Widowmine shot will get on top of so many of those Banelings at once though, and now another crazy one. Oh my god, Solar, your army supply vanished in an instant. Oh man, you don't need many Widow Mines. If you do use them like that, Solar is in deep trouble.
Yeah, just really unfortunate trade there. And now Dream is smelling blood in the water, ready to pounce on Solar. Remember, Solar is at basically has to win this game. You have any chance and any hope of keeping his hopes alive in this tournament. But here we go. Banelings roll in, only connects to the doors and the Marauders. A lot of the Marines still left over, and it is looking very troublesome. But I think with the reinforcement, Solar might be able to. It's hard to tell.
I don't know. It's so close. These Mutas have been dying one after the other, so low in health. Transfuses get used on top of these Mutas to help them survive, and now the upgrades are gonna be denied for Solar. Solar will not hold this. Dream is making his way past everything. Reinforcements coming in clutch. The few last Banelings are coming in hot. The Marauders will not stop them, or will they? The Tor is still standing. These Queens trying to do their best. In the end, Solar will be able to shoo away Dream, even just for the time being. The Tors are getting closer, and they're still not following Dream. Still there, still attacking, still getting closer to these mineral lines. And Solar been making more Banelings, more Mutas, just to sacrifice them. Medivac do not have any more energy, but these Widow Mines are ready to fire. More Banelings come running past. They need to get on top of everything. Widow Mines will be killed before they can get any shot. But this micro by Dream has been crazy already. The last store standing is too hard of a wall to break, and Solar has to withdraw once more.
Yeah, man, this is not looking so great for our blue Zerg. And Dream is relentless. He is just a kind of a streaming red units, infantry bow on the ground across the map. And GG, Dream takes a 3-0 victory.